Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for, this is actually your bonus reading for the Taurus lunar eclipse that we will be having on the 8th of the month. So just a few days. And sorry, there's like a random, you have this impulsiveness card that was randomly stuck in the deck, which we're going to clarify with this deck, funny enough. But, Pisces also had that impulsiveness card. And, I would say, like, I wouldn't have any reactions to anything at this time. Like, I would be very careful if you're feeling, like with any of your feelings. I would just kind of like, just say like, hey, things happen in life and I just have to deal with it, right? And so, we could see things happening in the news, in the world, especially with eclipses. And maybe your first reaction is to be like overly concerned or to have some sort of reaction. But again, as I say to everyone, with Mars retrograde as well, I would be careful of impulsive reactions because literally it always comes back to bite us with Mars retrograde. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a reaction to anything. I'm just saying if you're thinking about, blowing up on your neighbor on Facebook because, they put like a 40-foot tall stuffed Santa Claus on their front lawn, maybe you just want to hold on to that for a little bit, right? You start off here with the King of Cups. And so actually pretty good. I feel pretty good about this for you here, Cancer. I feel like this is just your energy in the reading. I know, yes, I understand that you are not the King of Cups, but I'm saying this is your energy in the reading. And I feel like you're actually pretty emotionally stable. He's sitting here. He's sitting in choppy waters, but he's perfectly fine. He looks perfectly fine. He also has very deep emotions, but the whole point of the King of Cups on the positive side of things is that he has emotional depth. So he knows how to tap into his emotions. He knows how to process them. He also knows how to deal with things. Like if he wants to get angry at his neighbor, instead of doing it, he says, maybe I don't need to react like this, even though I want to. And that's exactly what I would do here, Cancer. Plain and simple. For your crossing energy, you have the Two of Wands. It's kind of interesting because I have the words, is it safe, popping into my head. Those are literally the words I'm getting here with the Two of Wands. You can see that he's standing at the top of a castle and there's a home right down here. It kind of represents his village. He has this wand standing behind him, which kind of represents something that is complete, something that stands on its own. And he's reaching forward to this new wand with the whole world in his hands. So it kind of says that you could be needing to let go of something in your life that is kind of complete, that stands on its own. Maybe you've wrapped up a project or a business, or maybe you've kind of gotten everything you possibly can out of a situation, and now it's time for you to get out into the world so you can experience a new wand, so that you can experience a new creative beginning or a new opportunity in your life. And again, it's an eclipse, so that makes perfect sense to me that something like that would come up for you. In the area of your thoughts are on the new. So you have the Page of Pentacles. I kind of like when readings just flow like this. There is a certain flow to your reading, I would say, which is nice. I wouldn't say that this month necessarily is going to be like overly exciting for you, but I do feel it has like this nice kind of flow to it, and kind of some things are up, some things are down, but at the same time, I feel like you're going in the right direction, and that's really all that matters. I also feel a lot of happiness and enthusiasm with this Page of Pentacles. So it's like, well, like I kind of do get like a sense of waiting here in your reading where it's like maybe you're waiting for an opportunity in like work or business or love or anywhere else. And so I get this waiting energy, but I also kind of get that joyous expectation, as Esther Hicks calls it, which I love. I love being in that energy of just being like happy to be alive and just saying like, you know what, I'm here and I'm ready and I'm available for whatever the best opportunities that can come in for me are. And I think as long as you can maintain that like state, you're going to have a very successful time just in general between like now and probably the next set of eclipses in April of 2023. In the area of your foundation, you have the Seven of Swords. Again, this eclipse in particular, I would say that flexibility wins with this eclipse. Seven of Swords, of course, can represent lying, cheating, stealing, but I wouldn't really say this is a love reading. Some of you could have definitely, you do have the Three of Swords here, so you could be like healing from a heartbreak or something along those lines. But he's stealing these swords from an army that's in the background here. And really, the Seven of Swords is a card of tactics. It's a card of going to war like he is, but in a different way. He's not hitting those people with swords. He's not going to war with the swords. He's stealing them. So, I feel being flexible is kind of the name of the game with this eclipse for everyone. I think that's a collective energy. What I would say here is that we kind of don't know what we're going to get because there's like an opposition between Mercury and Uranus during the eclipse. And, I just think there could be, it's like we could see things happen in the world or in our personal life that require us to be flexible. It's like maybe we try a new idea out in our business and it doesn't work. But there's actually, the thing is that in it not working, there is some gold in whatever we try that doesn't work. And you could be, I know that's like a very general statement, but you could be trying something else here, like in love. Maybe you want to go on a date and it doesn't work, but I wouldn't, I feel like this reading is saying don't let the situation go. Not as in don't move on, right? Obviously, if you're dealing with a person, you need to move on. But I feel like it's saying hold on to the situation in the sense that you're looking at it and saying like, okay, what can I get out of it? Like where is the gold? And I feel that's what this is saying, plain and simple. In the past, you have the King of Pentacles, feeling much more stable in the past. And again, like I said, it is a little bit of a chaotic time that we're living in, of course, so there really is no stability. I think again, this is why I encourage people to, do all the stuff that I always say, like learn as much as you possibly can, experiment, try new things, because the more flexible and the more knowledge you have, actually the more free you are going to feel and the more secure you're going to feel. It's like if you only have, for example, like one skill, and you're afraid that you're going to get fired, then you're not going to feel really good. But if you have, like 2 skills, then you're probably going to feel a lot better and a lot more secure. Or even better, if you have like a job and a side hustle, which I see a lot of people doing in the future, not because there's anything wrong with their job, but number one, I think making money with side hustles is going to be kind of a little bit easier as we move forward into the future, but also just going to make you feel more secure. And again, this is Taurus, King of Pentacles. This eclipse is in Taurus, and what I would say is Uranus in Taurus as well really has a major focus on freedom. So anything we can do to make ourselves feel free, to feel secure, then it's going to be a good thing. Here in the near future, you have the Two of Pentacles. I would be careful of anyone coming back from the past. You don't have any cards that represent that, but except for the Judgment card at the end. But just intuitively, I kind of feel like the second, like if you're, this might only be for a few of you, but I do feel an energy of you like meeting a new person. And then you meet the new person, the old person, of course, that's when they pop their head up, right? So I would be careful of that. I would also be careful of any juggling situations here. You have the Page of Pentacles, new person, 2 Pentacles juggling to the 3 of Swords. Here's the thing, is that I think you've learned something. And, especially for those of you that desire love, I feel like you've learned like what things to pay attention to. I get this feeling of being able to shortcut, finding your soulmate. Let's put it that way. I roll my eyes at that because, I think we have many soulmates here on Earth at any given time. I think there are plenty of people that are willing to put in the work. If you put in the work and they put in the work, perfect, right? That's what we should be looking for. And what I would say is I almost get this sense that you could be meeting a person between like now and the end of the year. Let's put it that way. It could be an Earth sign. And I feel like maybe you feel like something is off. And if you do, I feel like that's your intuition saying, kick this person out the door because there's something off. And if you do that, I'm not saying you're like passing a test, but I almost feel like you're passing a test that you're avoiding a future heartbreak by doing that. And you're actually probably going to find someone much, much quicker. Sometimes I think we delay finding our, true person because maybe the universe brings us a person who isn't right. And the universe is just saying, did they really learn their lessons or do they need to learn them again? And I definitely have a situation like that popping into my head for some of you. So kind of like a little bit of a warning. If you attract a person and you know intuitively that it's not right, instead of, sometimes I think we just don't want to be alone. So we're like, okay, well, I'll take this person because then I'm not alone. But I feel like this is like basically the universe saying, if you're okay dealing with being a little bit alone for a little bit of time, then you're actually going to find someone much quicker because you're passing the test. Again, I want to stress that if you meet a person who's a good person who puts in the work, then that part of the message isn't for you. Because I do feel some of you could be meeting a person who actually is willing to put in the work. And again, you're going to have to use your own judgment. Again, people always say, I'm confused about what to do in these situations. I'm like, pretty simple. Your answer is justice. As I've been saying all year, put a little work into the relationship. If they put the work in as well, if they meet you halfway at least or more, then keep going. If they stop, then don't. Then that's your sign. I would also say if they have blatant warning signs, run away, right? Plain and simple. In the area of your closest relationships, you have the 4 of Swords. So again, I do feel there is a healing kind of going on in your relationship life in general. I'm not just talking about love here. I'm talking about all relationships, friendships, family, all those things. So some of you are definitely healing a situation. We're going to clarify through this in just a minute because, again, I want to get more details, but I think your relationship life in general looks pretty good. You in the the area of your future feelings, you have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is a really good card of your emotions overflowing, being really happy, kind of like having the things that you want to have happen in your life. I'm getting something about travel here as well. So if any of you are hoping to travel or move, I would say, again, between like now and April of next year, so about 6 months from now, or maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. I can't do math. I don't even know what month April is. So there you go. But, basically 6 months, then I feel there could be a move. This is one of those situations also where I feel if you're making a move, like moving, traveling, or even if you're changing jobs, for example, that's also a move. You might not literally be moving, but if you're changing jobs or something, I feel it's one of those rare times where it actually does make a difference. And what I mean by that is it's like sometimes I think we move, but we don't feel any different. Like we think, oh, I'm going to go move to New York City and get a job on Broadway or something like that, right? But then we do it, but we feel the same. You get what I'm saying? But this is a totally different situation. If you're making a change, I feel like you feel different in what you're doing. So I really like to see that because, again, it's not usually life doesn't work like that, right? Unfortunately, usually we move and it just feels the same. Usually nothing changes. But again, I feel really good about whatever changes you're making. For your outcome, you have the Judgment card, getting closer and closer to you, kind of like your true purpose. This is your higher self angel. And, these people are in these coffins. The coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin represents their new life. So I feel you're kind of transforming and moving towards some sort of like new beginning here, and we're going to clarify through and see what this new beginning could potentially be for you here, Cancer. I'm going to clarify with the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, and we're going to see. With the King of Cups and the Two of Wands, you have this Charity card, which is actually Saturn in Cancer, by the way, so your energy, it's funny that I said that King of Cups is your energy as well. I kind of feel like the universe wants you to be happy at this time. Sometimes I think just believing that is enough, right? Sometimes I think we just have to believe that the universe wants us to be fulfilled and happy and is guiding us. If we believe it, then it's true. And that's exactly what I would do here. I would just believe something. Can we get more detail on that, though? What else is going on here? You have the Seduction card as well. This is Jupiter and Pisces. Again, I would make sure that something isn't just seductive. I would make sure that, like, if a person is entering into your life, that they can back up their words with actions. There's something here with this Page of Pentacles. It's like I feel good, bad about it. I'm wondering if it's two people, actually. And because you have the Two of Pentacles here, remember what I said about potentially a person from the past coming back? It could be a past person, but it could also be like a past life person that's trying to kind of like come back into your life, but it's almost like you have a choice between two. I would choose, again, not telling you what to do, but I would choose the person that actually puts in the work and not just the person that seduces you, right? Not just the person who looks better. And I'm not even sure that that's the situation here. And it definitely could be happening now. Again, we have Jupiter and Pisces until the end of December practically. So, basically the 26th or the 20th or whatever it leaves on. And so, this could be happening now that you kind of get seduced. With the Page of Pentacles, you have this Extremism card. There you go. Yeah, I would be careful of someone who is extreme in general. Sometimes I think we can be attracted by kind of extremes, right? Just because it's so different. It's like a lot of people, right? They just robot their way through life. They're just like this, right? So when we meet a person where it's like they have these crazy spikes, and as long as they seem kind of normal, I think we're sometimes attracted to that, but sometimes they're bad people, right, as well. Sometimes people who are, who live in the extremes, they might also do bad things in the extreme. Not always true. I've met plenty of extreme people who are awesome, but, sometimes I feel we just want to feel something. We just want to feel different. So, I would just be careful of any people who are like extreme, who are just pedal to the metal nonstop, right? And I think you're going to be able to spot this. It's not going to be, this is not something that's hidden, but it's just something I would pay attention to is what I would say here. I feel like it's encouraging you to look for something balanced, right? With the Seven of Swords, you have the Appreciation card here. I'm getting such a weird message here on the Seven of Swords, I'm not going to lie. It's like sometimes I think, we get ideas from people where we're like, that person's an idiot. Why would I listen to that person? But I don't know. I kind of get this, like, I think there could be a lot of abundance in learning from either people that you don't agree with or in learning from, again, it doesn't even have to be like that. It's like maybe I always use the example of children. Sometimes I think children deliver us like intuitive messages where they say something maybe about our business and we're like, whatever, they're 4 years old or something like that. But you never know. Could be a message from God, literally. So, what I would say here is don't be afraid, if you have kids or if maybe there's some, what seems like a crazy person on the street, right? Maybe they have a little bit of wisdom. And so I would be looking for it. And again, it's kind of like the whole, when you buy a car, you see it everywhere. All of a sudden, the car that you just bought, right? It's like that. It's like, I think when we train our brain to look for something, then we see it. And that's what I feel this is saying for some reason. With the King of Pentacles, you have this ostentation card. Again, I would be careful of extremes here. This ostentation card is about show off, like show off energy. And this is also Saturn and Taurus, by the way. So I feel that some of you could have like either a person who enters into your life who is like extreme, a major show off, or, I feel like this could be a new person for most of you. For some of you, I feel like you know who this person is. I would just be very careful of that, of that person. I feel like they're just, it's like sometimes I think pedal to the metal is a good thing, like I said, but some people, I think it's not good. and this is definitely one of those people. I would just be careful. With the Two of Pentacles, you have this affair card. Pisces also had this card. I would, again, you have the Seven of Swords, Three of Swords. Obviously, some of you could have gone through like a heartbreak, but this affair card, it's not always bad. It can also be a good card of like getting into a positive love situation. So if you want love, I definitely feel there's new love here. With the Three of Swords, you have this inspiration card. This is the only thing I would be paying attention to right here, is things that inspire you, things that kind of inspire you to take action or that inspire you to, feel love. And we're not talking about necessarily with a person. We're just talking about the feeling, right? Because when we feel true love, guess what we attract? True love. When we feel abundance, we attract true abundance. So, I think that we're entering into this time of Aquarius, even though this card is Pisces, doesn't matter. What I would say is, I think I've been talking about this a lot, that the energy is like the star card for, I think, the rest of our lives. We need to kind of move towards things that excite us, that make us feel fulfilled. Then we're just going to attract more fulfillment. I think the challenge is that we think like, oh, I need to have a bunch of money to be able to do this or whatever. But the secret is, is that if you actually move towards your inspirations, you're going to get, all the money and more. So, it's kind of like we have to trust ourselves. With the Four of Swords in the area of your closest relationships, you have this adaptability card. I have a very strong sneaking suspicion that this adaptability card is going to come up for pretty much everyone because of how this eclipse is set up. This eclipse is set up for just needing to be adaptable, but also if you have like a business idea, I'm telling you right now, it's maybe not going to work. And what I would do is if you have an idea to like launch a business, I would come up with like, keep your main goal, your main vision in your head, right, of like what you want to accomplish, but also come up with other ways that you could get there, right, just in case something doesn't work. And that's what I'd say here. Same thing in love as well. It's like, just in case something doesn't work, always be, looking for the exit, right? With the Ace of Cups, you have this speculation card here. So this is also your card, Jupiter and Cancer. It is a card of like speculating and kind of having thoughts about like how something could work in your life. But I would be careful of this energy as well. I wouldn't just be dreaming. I would come up with action. I always say that. We have Neptune and Pisces as well. Neptune and Pisces, sometimes that fantasy feels way better than the reality, or maybe it doesn't, but just the fantasy feels so good that we stay stuck in the fantasy. So what the hell am I talking about? Well, it's like if you want to get into a relationship with a person, start making the steps to make it happen. Because if you're just dreaming about it, then you're kind of living in, Neptune and Pisces la la land, which is like basically nothing happens there. So trust me, I'm Pisces. I don't do anything, right? But what I would say here is start making the moves so that you're not just speculating, so that you're actually creating something here on Earth. With the Judgment card, here you go. You have the Sun in Pisces. You could be attracting a Pisces as well, but this card says vision. I feel like you need to kind of like have a vision for what you want to create in your life. And then you need to step out of the coffin on the Judgment card and start taking the steps to make something happen. Again, we need to kind of like move closer to our vision by taking action. So that's that, Cancer. Pretty good. We're going to do 3 cards now. I'm going to do 1 question. So if you have a question, feel free to pause this reading. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3 right here, although it's just going to be one question. If you don't have a question, that's fine too. I'm going to put all 3 together at the end, kind of like a personal-ish reading. For question for, so again, pause now if you want to think of a question, because I'm going to read the cards. You have the Chariot, you, showing up, the 10 of Cups and the 3 Cups. Definitely like a major celebration coming in for some of you, so there could be some sort of celebration that you're having, and it could be love. Obviously, you could be discovering love. I feel for those of you asking a question, I would just say yes. I feel like you need to move towards exactly what you're asking about, especially if it's something new, because, I mean, look at those cards. Are you kidding me? That looks amazing. If you don't have a question, and even if you do, I feel there is so much abundance coming in for you in the Chariot. You know, the Chariot, he's leaving a city behind, and he's going in a new direction. He's trying to find his own place in the world. Maybe he thinks that the city is too crowded. Maybe he feels like there's too much competition behind him. So he's kind of trying to find his own place where he can stake his own claim, right, in life. That could be in love. That could be in business. Could be in everything. But he's kind of trying to find his own place. And that's really what's popping into my head for you. I feel like you're trying to find your place in the world, but in a powerful way. So I love this, Cancer. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.